If you're looking for the best ROI in Arkansas, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the best places where you should put your money and build your assets and your real estate portfolio, whether it's flipping or renting a property. So stay tuned to the very end of this video because you're going to see the exact places of where you should dump your money into and invest into Arkansas. What's going on, guys? My name's Cody, Realtor with eXp Realty. I help sellers get the most amount of money and help buyers find the next best deal. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more valuable content just like this. And if you're an investor looking to make your first investment in Arkansas, be sure to contact me down in the description below, and be sure to check out all my social medias if you want more valuable content just like this. But without further ado, I'm going to be showing you the exact places on where you should build your assets in Arkansas. And starting with number one, which is the most popular one, Heights in Hillcrest. Let me tell you guys a little bit about something. I made a bunch of videos about the Heights in Hillcrest community, and obviously it's a very appreciative community because of his historic district. And on top of that, just to get this out the way, the average price points is around about $300,000 and going on up, depending if you want to be closer to Chemic Village or ultimately you're just on Cantrell Road just basically all of a sudden, because there's a lot of demand in this area. Like I said, it's a historic district. It's a lot of people going to the area every single weekend. There's a lot of historic cafes. It's just a lot of things to do. I would say, and I will highly argue, that it's basically next to downtown, or even better than downtown. I would normally say that you're going to get a lot of return in this area. Now, if you want my personal professional opinion on whether you want to rent or you want to flip, I personally would say this would be a good flip. This would be a good flip because even though investment properties are going to cost you a lot, roughly around about, the cheapest can be around about 80 grand to 100 grand of just a basic rehab property. One is because you're close to UAMS, which is the University Medical School that's in Arkansas. For some reason, I can't even think of the order right now. But yeah, you're close to that. That's only in Hillcrest. Now, when you're deep into the Heights, you're close to Chemic Village. You're close by the river. And that's where all of his value is coming from. And, obviously, I would highly go for a flip in this area. Now, rental comps. You can if you're looking for a rental in this area, the average rent is going around about almost $2 grand a month, almost $2,500 a month, depending on where you're close to, either by the medical school or you're deep into the Heights. It can either go up around about $3,000 a month, and I've seen houses going for $500,000, $600,000. Even historic properties way back in the 20s, even 30s, even in the 40s. You're gonna get your money's worth only if you're willing to dedicate to putting a lot of money to build the assets in the Heights and Hillcrest community. So that's why I had to put it as number one, because it's a very demanding community, which is going to lead to number two, Bend and Bryant. Obviously, let's talk about Bend and Bryant for a second. Now, let's talk about Bryant for a second. Bryant is roughly known for new builds and new subdivisions, and ultimately the average price point is around about $200,000. You're close to Alexander, and normally if you want to go for a new build, but you want to go for mainly rentals, I was going to put Southwest in here, but Southwest is close to Alexander. Alexander is close to Bryant. So if you're looking for a lot of rentals, Bryant will be a great place for you. Now, Bend, even though I have Benville at the very end, let's talk about just the tip of Bend and right next to Bryant. Now, this would normally go for flips. Now, you can either say this is a flip or you can say this is a rental. Me personally, Bend will be for flips, because Bend will be, the average price points for Bend is about $300,000 and on up, because there's a lot of new construction, there's a lot of acreage out there, and ultimately the average price of a rehab property can range from about $60,000 to $80,000, because there is a lot of demand in that area. Especially, there's a lot of new builds, there's a lot of acreage. When people want acreage but want to be close to the city, a lot of people want to be close to Bend and Bryant. Now, like I said, with Bryant, I would recommend going for rentals because it's close to Southwest. Southwest is known for rentals. Alexander is known for rentals. You can still get your money back with a flip, but me personally, I would go for Bryant as a rental property. Now let's talk about number three, because this is going to be kind of weird because you are in the college area. This is talking about Conway, Fayetteville, Jonesboro. Now, what's in Conway? You have UCA, University of Central Arkansas. Fayetteville, you have U of A, University of Arkansas. Jonesboro, you have UALR, University of Arkansas in Little Rock. Now, I've been to UALR. Now, there's a lot of investment opportunity in UALR. Now, for Jonesboro, I say this is a good rental area because there is a lot of cheap rehab properties in that area. Now, you're not going to get a lot of return, especially the after repair value in the UALR area, because those properties are going to go for around about 150. You can get a property for around about 20 grand, 30 grand, and flip it and get around about what 80, $90,000 in profit. I mean, even less than that after you put your money into it. But say we're going into Fayetteville. Now, this is a good flip area. Now, I don't go to Fayetteville a lot, but I know there's a lot of demand in the area because that is ultimately the Star College of Arkansas. You have the Razorbacks, and you have a lot of sport activities up there as well. Now, going into Fayetteville, you're going around $300,000 on up. Now, it's a good rental area, but ultimately, in my professional opinion, I would go for more flips. Now, let's talk about Conway. Conway, this is University of Central Arkansas. This is one of, like, I say, the top, like, 5 colleges when people come to Arkansas. If it's not U of A, it is Conway. And there's a reason why a lot of people go to Conway, because of the University of Central Arkansas, UCA. Now, I will go for more of flips because Conway is known for acreage as well, just like Benton. I just put a $300,000 4-acre property under contract in Conway just a couple weeks ago. We're going to be closing on it next month, and like I said, that's sitting on 4 acres for $300,000. So you can get your money's worth in Conway. You just have to be smart about it. Now, there's a lot of rural and mobile homes in Conway, but you want to stay away from those subdivisions. Now, you want to look closer to the colleges. If you want to go for college students, there'll be a great rental area. But ultimately, the money is where the college is, and especially if you're a apartment developer, or you want to do multifamily, UCA is a good way to invest a lot of rental income potential, which is going to lead to our last point, number 4, Bentonville and Rogers. Now, we already talked about Ben. Let's talk about Rogers first. Now, we're in the rural part of Arkansas. Now, Bentonville, we're still up at the $300,000. Now, we're talking about Rogers as well. Rogers is going to be around about 250. This is the rural part of Arkansas. You're going to deal with a lot of acreage. You're going to deal with a lot of new construction. You're going to deal with a mixture of mobile homes. And on top of that, Rogers is, like I said, a rural area. Now, ultimately, both of them, in my opinion, will be great for flips. You're not going to do a lot of rentals out there. Great for flips, not only because that you have a lot of acreage, you have a lot of things to do with that acreage. You're not necessarily in the city limits. You can do whatever you want. So most of this can go up. Now, the reason why I put the $250,000 to $300,000 because that's the average of what people are selling their flips for. This number can go way up. Now, if we're talking about what's the rehab out there, what are the rehab costs? What are the cost of buying a rehab out there? Now, the same thing, around about 50 grand to around about 80 grand, especially if you're close to Bentonville. Now, if you're in the Rogers, it can be a little cheaper sometimes, but it can also be around the 50 to 60 grand as well if you're in Rogers. But ultimately, this is a great flip area. Now, to ultimately recap this whole video, which place should I put my money into? Now, if you're a new investor, I would say Ben. Start with Ben, start with Bryant, start with the Southwest area. And on top of that, if you are still a very new investor and you don't have that much money to start building assets, start with Jonesboro, start with UALR. Those properties are going for around about 20, 30 grand. But you have to dump a lot of money into making it as a rental. Like I said, it's not going to be a good flip area. But if you're trying to build, you're trying to hold as many doors as you can, trying to, build your portfolio, Jonesboro will be the way to go. Now, if you got money like that, if you're balling like that, I will go to Hillcrest. Hillcrest is a great investment area, especially if you have a lot of money. You want to make 6 figures on up, Heights in Hillcrest. And, if you want to get very specific, get into the Heights. Especially if you want to make 6 figures like that. You want to be close to Chemic Village as possible. You want to be there by Country Road. You want to be as close to the river as possible because those properties are going for $1 million, $500,000. But ultimately, Not a lot of people are going to start like that. So ultimately, if you want to stay realistic, Jonesboro, if you're a first investor. If you want to, caveat to college kids, go to Conway. Fayetteville, like I said, I don't go there as much, but all I know is that a lot of people go to UCA. And on top of that, if you're more of a rural investor, you like to deal with a lot of acreage, number 4 will be the go-to for you. And that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this short video on where you should dump your money at, where you should build your assets in Arkansas. Like I said, hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want more valuable content just like this. And like I said, if you need a real estate agent who's going to guide you to building your assets in Arkansas, be sure to contact me down in the description below. And be sure to check out all my social medias if you want more valuable content just like this. Without further ado, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Let's get it.